Hello, dear students. Today we want to study a practical. The aim of the practical is to analyze the given salt for acidic and basic radical. Today, the salt that we are given is this. You can watch the salt so that we can do the required physical test and physical analysis of this salt. Now, let's have a look to the various tests that we need to do and understand. We will follow a pattern where we will do an experiment, then we will note down the observations, and then we'll understand whatever the experiment want to tell us, that we will write as an inference. So we have seen the salt. What was the physical state? We can easily say that the physical state was a solid. So there are some salts, for example, iron 3 chloride, FeCl3, and there are other semi-solid salts. They are absent. Because the salt was not semi-solid, we can say that the semi-solid salts were absent. Then we have the next one, color of the salt. We could easily identify that the color of the salt was colorless, you can say, or it was white color. Therefore, those ions which are colored, Fe plus 3 ion, Fe plus 2 ion, Ni plus 2 ion, Cu plus 2 ion, they must be absent because there was no color into the salt. Then we should look into the smell. When the salt, what you have seen, is smelled, it gives us the smell of the ammonia. As we get the smell of the ammonia, we can say that NH4 plus may be present. You may feel the question, sir, how can we understand the smell of the ammonia sitting so far? My dear students, if you go to the urinal, which was the public urinal, generally our urine contains the ammonia and ammoniacal compounds. So the kind of smell that you feel there, if there is a if there is a same kind of smell here, we can consider it as an ammoniacal smell. The smell is little intense. So this is how we can understand, my dear student, about the various physical tests. Now we are going to understand the dry heating test for this particular compound. So let us understand the dry heating for this particular compound. Let us see how we need an original salt. We need some blue litmus paper, test tubes, test tube holders. We need a Bunsen burner on which we can do the heating. Now, how do we do it? So first we'll uh, burn this burner, and then you can see this is how we feel the salt in it, and then we heat it. When we heat it, some gas is produced. So we'll take some moist litmus paper and we'll bring it to the mouth of the test tube and we'll observe. We can see that the blue litmus paper turns into uh, red color, and that is why we can say that some acid is present into this salt. So this is how we understand about heating of the salt, and we bring the blue litmus paper near the mouth of the salt. Now we'll take the original salt and we perform the another test for the same salt. Dry heating test is very important for this salt because we get this both result at the same time. So we have the same required material, but when we heat this salt, we have taken the salt into the test tube and now we are heating it. As we heat it, we uh, uh, get the, now we'll, what we shall do here. Last time we have brought the filter, we have brought the litmus paper, which was the moist litmus paper, which was blue near the mouth of the test tube. This time we are going to bring a rod, a glass rod, which is dipped into the hydrochloric acid, and then this glass rod will bring near to the mouth of this particular mouth of the test tube. So let me show you again that in this case, this time when we are heating, we'll dip a rod into the HCl. This dipped rod of which was dipped into the HCl will bring near the mouth of the test tube. You can see that there are some fumes produced. Let me show you the fumes once again. You can see that some fumes have been produced. Let me show you the fumes once again. You can see the fumes coming out. These fumes are generally produced because of the reaction between the ammonia gas and hydrochloric acid gas, which produce the, you can see the fumes, ammonium chloride fumes. So this is how, my dear students, we understand the dry heating test. My dear students, this is a kind of salt which is given to us that we generally have two tests which are the dry heating test only. If we bring the rod which is dipped into the hydrochloric acid, we generally get the white fumes. But if we bring the blue litmus paper which was moist near the mouth of the test tube, that turns red. So we have the two dry heating test. Dry heating test, when we heat it, we get the smell of ammonia and we can say that NH4 plus may be present. Now we'll mix the salt with solid sodium hydroxide, and if we heat it, when we heat the salt with the solid sodium hydroxide, we again get the smell of the ammonia, and that is why we can say that ammonium plus ion, NH4 plus ion is present. Then we are going to perform another test. We will mix the salt with the solid oxalic acid. So let us perform once again an activity for the oxalic acid test. Let us try to perform the oxalic acid test for this. For oxalic acid test, my dear students, we have the various requirements. What material do we need? We need the original salt, then we need oxalic acid, then we need distilled water, then we need a glass rod, watch glass, spatula. Now in this process, we'll take the original salt. This original salt, will mix it with the oxalic acid, and then we'll put a drop of water. Distilled water should be used, and then we'll mix both the salts well, and then we'll try to smell it. When we smell it, my dear students, we'll feel the smell of vinegar with oxalic acid. So now let us see, why do we feel the smell of vinegar? Because oxalic acid reacts with the CH3COO minus ion, and it produces the vinegar or acetic acid, and this is how we can feel the smell of the vinegar here in this case, my dear students. So you can see that mix the salt with solid oxalic acid and heat it. By heating, you can get the smell of the vinegar, and that is why we can say that CH3COO minus may be present. So my dear students, here we have got some NH4 plus and CH3COO minus present, but how can we confirm that they are only present? So we can confirm that these ions are present by nullifying or by denying the possibility of the other positive ion and negative ion present into this salt. So we need to perform few more tests. so that we can come to know that the other ions are not present, but these ions only are present. For that, we'll take the pinch of salt and allow it to burn in the oxidizing flame. If we use the same salt and allow it to burn into the oxidizing flame, my dear students, there is no specific flame observed, and that is why those ions which gives the flame test, like barium plus 2, copper plus 2, CO plus 2, etc., they may be absent. Then we can move to the wet test, my dear students. So we'll take the aqueous dilute acid and we'll add the pinch of salt into it. There will not be any effervescence produced, and we can say that as these effervescences have not been produced, carbonate ion CO3 minus 2 is absent. We'll perform MnO2 test. So we'll take the aqueous solution of salt and then we'll add the concentrated sulfuric acid. We'll add manganese dioxide MnO2, and for as a catalyst we'll add the copper foil into it. We'll heat it and we'll come to know that there is no greenish yellow gas produced during this process, and that is why we can say that Cl minus chloride ions are absent. We'll take the aqueous solution of barium chloride and the aqueous solution of salt. That is what it is known as the barium chloride test. So salt is mixed with the aqueous solution of barium chloride. There are no white precipitates produced, and that is why we can say that sulfate ion SO4 minus 2 are absent. We'll perform a test which is known as the brown ring test. In this test, we'll take the we'll take the salt and we'll prepare a freshly prepared solution of FeSO4, which is generally green in color. We'll mix the freshly prepared aqueous solution with the salt, and then from the one side of the wall of the test tube, we'll slowly add the concentrated sulfuric acid into it. As we add the concentrated sulfuric acid, between the layer of the concentrated sulfuric acid and freshly prepared FeSO4 solution, there may be possibility, or there is a possibility of formation of the brown ring, but here in this salt we will not get the brown ring, and that is why we can say that NO3 minus ions are absent. So from the above test which we performed, we can either call them the dry test, or we can either call them the wet test. We can come to know, or we come to know that there is a NH4 plus ion and CH3 COO minus or acetate ion present into the salt. But still we are not confirmed, so we need to confirm them by performing some confirmatory tests. So for performing the confirmatory test, we will confirm the presence of the ion by doing some confirmatory test. We know that we have performed one confirmatory test, that we have taken the salt and then we have added to the sodium hydroxide solution and heated. We have got the ammoniacal sol, and we can say that NH4 plus was confirmed. Now we are going to perform another test which is known as the Nessler test, and by performing the Nessler's test we can even confirm the presence of the ion. So let us perform the Nessler's test, my dear students. For Nessler's test we need to prepare an original solution. We will prepare an original solution by dissolving the salt into the water, and then we will add the Nessler's reagent into it. So you can see here that you can see here that for this particular test, my dear students, we need to take the salt into the test tube. So we have taken the salt into the test tube. You can see that the test tube contains the salt, you can see here. Now we are going to add the distilled water into it so that we can get the solution of it. See, now we are going to add the distilled water into it, and then we'll shake it well. So by shaking it well, we can get the solution prepared of our salt. So this solution is called the original solution. We'll use the original solution and we'll add the Nessler's reagent into it. So we'll use the dropper for addition of the Nessler reagent, and you can see that there is a reddish brown precipitates they have been producing into this reddish brown precipitates produce only when there is NH4 plus ion present into the solution with the natural reagent. The other ions, another positive ions, they never produce such reddish brown precipitates with the salt, and we can confirm that this reddish brown precipitates confirms the presence of the NH4 plus ion into the salt, my dear students. So this was the confirmatory test, and now we have confirmed that the salt containing NH4 plus ion as a positive ion, or we can say as an basic radical. Now we want to confirm the presence of the CH3COO minus ion. For that, we have already done one test. We mixed the salt with the solid oxalic acid and we have heated it. We have got the smell of the vinegar. We confirm the vinegar with the uh, uh, blue litmus paper, which was turned into red, and that is why we can say that CH3COO minus is confirmed. Apart from that, we are even going to perform one more test. This test is known as the FeCl test or ferric chloride test. So for this salt, we can perform the ferric chloride test. In this ferric chloride test, we require various materials, like we need a test tube and the solution. Then we need the neutral FeCl3 or neutral ferric chloride solution, my dear students. Then we may be in need of the dilute hydrochloric acid, and we need distilled water. So for that particular test, we even need the test tubes and test tube stand. We need a test tube holder. We need various droppers, my dear students, and funnel. We need a filter paper too, and we need a Bunsen burner to heat it if required. Now we'll proceed for the test. So for that, first we'll take a test tube, and in the test tube we'll take the solution of our original solution. So the solution of the salt given to us, this test tube contains the salt of the solution which was given to us, and now we are going to add the neutral FeCl3 into it. You can see, my dear students, by the addition of the neutral FeCl3, we get the reddish color into deep red color into the solution. This deep red color into the solution itself actually confirms the presence of the acetate ion CH3COO minus. Now, if now these ions, we are going to heat it. So now we have the red ion, red color solution. This red color solution, we are going to, this red color solution, we are going to heat it, my dear students. Now see, we are going to heat this solution, and we'll see what happens to the solution. You can see that by heating, the solution which we have got turns into reddish brown precipitates, and this is what it confirms the presence of the CH3COO minus ions or acetate ion into the solution, into the salt as well as the solution. So my dear students, by using this, we can come to know that this CH3COO minus ion is again confirmed. Now we can write the result that here in the given salt, which we have analyzed for the acidic radical and basic radical, the basic radical that we have is NH4 plus ion, whereas the acidic radical that we had was the CH3COO minus ion. Actually, the salt today given to us was ammonium acetate. This ammonium acetate salt, which looks like this, and uh, this is what we have taken it from the bottle of the ammonium acetate, and this ammonium acetate we have analyzed today completely for you, my dear students. So this is how, my dear students, you can understand the ammonium acetate. This ammonium acetate bottle, you can see here that we have the we have taken it ammonium acetate from for the analysis today, and this is how we do the analysis for the ammonium acetate with us. My dear students, hope you are enjoying your studies, and If you don't understand anything, you can contact me and ask me. You can you are free to ask your doubts, and I hope you are enjoying your studies. I wish you happy learning, my dear students. Thank you, and have a nice time. Thank you, dear students.